Hi everyone, my name is Jason.
And I'm Lorraine.
And this is So the Land Podcast. And if you're just watching, and if you're just listening and watching, we have started a new podcast YouTube channel, which is So the Land Podcast. And that's what the YouTube channel is called. So you could watch us on that new channel. Because previously we were putting all these podcasts on our So the Land, our main channel. But now I just have a new channel that we're posting all these podcasts on there. So if you have not, please subscribe to that. But today, we're going to be talking about, and we're just figuring this out like just recently.
Yeah.
Like now, right?
Right. We're asking ourselves, how do we know we are ready for a bigger homestead?
Yeah, that's something that we're realizing.
Yeah, we're just asking ourselves these simple questions, and are we ready?
Just the fact that that's popping up in our brain is a big step.
Right.
You know, 4.5 years, almost, it'll be 5 years next April we'll be here in our 1.5 acres. And so the more I think we've kind of seen what we've done this year, we are thinking of like, well, should we get a bigger property?
And this year was just a little taste of what we could possibly do. We did more than ever this year. It was a big growth for us on our homestead. I mean, every year we always have growth, but it's like little bit by little bit. And I've always said this, and I've said this before on podcasts, that every year always kind of seemed like we were setting up we were setting up our homestead. Like we had just moved here 4 years ago, and it was nothing. I mean, it was just a field full of weeds. And the first year we put in a garden, and then next year we made some outbuildings, and then we did a greenhouse, and then finally this year we raised pigs. We raised way more pastured meat chickens than we ever have. So we kind of just tested our limits on like how much can we really do on this 1.5 acres.
Yeah, I feel like we maxed out. Like we really have. I mean, I feel like we can't do any much more than what we have done this year. And it's just double the production. And so, yeah, we're just kind of going through the emotions and the conversations of, should we move?
I think to take a step back, we were first asking ourselves, what would we like to do? We would like to grow and raise more animals. We would like that opportunity to raise. I would love to do turkeys, and we did 120 meat chickens this year, and I feel like that was the max.
Yes.
Yeah, and then we did 2 pigs. And
I feel like 2 pigs is the max. Yeah. Even though I know people raise pigs
in a barn
year round, but just the way I feel comfortable doing it is I would love to move pigs around. I do not want to leave them in one spot and just leave them there for the entire 7 months that you raise them.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No.
It's just we feel that we want to do it differently. We feel more comfortable.
Yeah, I just feel better about it, just me personally. I don't want a big muddy mess is what I don't want.
Right.
Yeah, so I like to see them moved around every couple weeks. And so, I think I would like to have pigs year round.
Right.
But just here, it's not possible for us.
Right. So like you said, we maxed out our space.
Yeah.
On that. And then we did 120 meat chickens. That was great. We did that well. But I want to do turkeys. Right. I would like to raise turkeys one year. We just really don't have the space for that. Just one more bird. We just don't have the space. So again, we've maxed out our space.
Yeah.
And you have mentioned before just some different outbuildings on our property, and with the lay of our land, we've got some hills on our 1.5 acres that we are not able to put some outbuildings on a hill, a steep hill.
Like our house is on a hill, but it's a very, very narrow hill, where it's kind of like long and narrow. So it's like you can't really put much else on it. I mean, yeah, you can build down in our flat areas, like kind of where our garden's at. Mm-hmm. But then there's no electricity down there. There's no water down there, essentially, instead of with like a hose. So that would take some thinking of how to do that. And then also, if you did build down there, that would take away from the food production. So,
Right.
we couldn't raise maybe as many chickens if I put another barn down there. Or, I want to expand my workshop. I have about 120 square foot shed that I brought in where I do my woodworking in. And really, man, I'm so maxed out in there that I can only do one job at a time. And there can only be one person in that shed doing that job. So, which is me. If I have another person in there, like Penelope, she wants to come in there and help me. She just wants to hang out with Dad. And honestly, there's no room. I get frustrated.
It's very small.
Because I don't mind her helping me or coming in there and kind of working on her own project. That's great. But at the same time, it's my gosh, there's no room.
And for safety reasons too. Because if you're just shoulder to shoulder with the saw, you just really want to have some space to work.
Or even if I wanted to hire somebody to help me out doing some woodworking projects, I can't. I won't be able to do that. I wouldn't be able to. They wouldn't be able to do it there with me, which I think I would like to do one day. Just bringing in another bigger workshop, I think, is a kind of a goal of mine, and I feel like we cannot do that here. It's just not possible. So that's one of the reasons, just to have that option of bringing in more workshop, and then also, what if we want a milk cow?
We'd like to have that option.
Yeah, I don't know if that's what we want to do, but
as of right now, we don't have that option because there's, we're on 1.5 acres.
Yeah, that's not possible. So, to have that option to have a milk cow, or if I wanted to raise a beef cow or 2 beef cows, that would be great if we could have that option. Or I think I would like to do sheep. Sheep would be cool. Like I said, turkeys, expand our garden areas.
Greenhouse.
I would like to build a more permanent chicken processing workshop area. Have it be more stationary.
Yes, for workshops and bring people in and, be able to expand on the workshops. I really like that. Yeah,
and just those little things, I think we want to just grow as, our business and grow as people.
As homesteaders, right? Yeah,
and just grow more, just different skills, I guess, and just learn these different things. And in order to do that, I don't know. We feel like that this property is not it. We need to have a bigger space to grow and do all these things.
Right, and we knew that going into this property. We moved from the city in California, and we had never homesteaded before, and we just wanted something. We didn't know hardly anything about North Carolina other than we just vacationed here for a week and that was it. So we were kind of just going into this kind of blindly almost. We were just going to be let's just see if this works, this homesteading lifestyle. Let's see if it works out for us.
We didn't even know if we would like the area or
even homesteading itself.
Or anything. Yeah.
And so we got this as a starter homestead and just to get our feet wet and see if this is something that we can do. And we absolutely fell in love with homesteading. We fell in love with growing our own food and knowing what our animals ate and, being able to store that in our home. And
the whole process from start to finish.
We love it.
From raising the animals to our freezer to our dinner, that's something very satisfying of seeing that.
Yes.
Of just looking at your backyard and be like, wow, that's where I raised that chicken or that pig,
And there's something else that we love too is being able to teach others. We had a chicken butchering workshop, and not only do we do videos on how to cook, but we would love to be able to have workshops on just have more
just hands-on type workshops.
Hands-on and invite people onto our property and have the space for that. I just think that was something that we didn't know we would like doing, and that was a surprise to us.
Yeah, and we're talking about that more and more. So I don't know. That's just something we've been talking about lately. We just wanted to share that with you guys, and I don't know if that's something that we'll do, you know. But I also think we're perfectly fine here.
If we didn't want to grow.
If we just wanted to stay with chickens and maybe a couple pigs every other year in our garden, that's perfectly fine.
Right.
But I think our personalities is like, I want to try different things. I want to try new things and just keep learning.
We want to grow.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we have not officially started looking for properties or anything like that. But I mean, just kind of dreaming about a different homestead. I mean, what would you choose to live in a mobile home again?
I would. I wouldn't mind it. Mm-hmm. I mean, it kind of depends, but yeah, I mean, I think a mobile home is fine.
So we live in a mobile home now on our 1.5 acres, and that was something that was new to us. But I like the size of our mobile home. It's pretty small. I like living in a small place because it's just the three of us, and I feel like it makes us a tighter unit. But also at the same time, I always kind of think that if our home was a little bit bigger, we could entertain more and have family come stay with us.
Yeah.
I do like that.
I guess that's the drawback of having a smaller home is, if people come visit us.
It's small.
Yeah, it's small. I mean, we don't mind them staying here.
But I think they mind. It's like, oh, well.
They're like, oh, I'm just going to go get a hotel.
Which is fine. That's fine too.
Yeah, that's fine.
It makes it tough for food storage. Like, we have 3 deep chest freezers that's storing our pig, all of our chickens, and some we do can, but some of our vegetables and just random things that we freeze. And that's 3 deep chest freezers in a small 1,000 square foot home.
Yeah, we don't have room for a couch. We have because we have freezers. So there's really no spot. Like, I would have to bring in another shed somewhere.
Right, and then that goes back into the land of like our hill.
We don't really have a spot for it for all this.
Don't have room to grow.
We're maxed out, guys. Of like, we cannot grow any more animals here.
Right. Or store any food or anything like that. That's what we keep going back. These are our conversations that we have together. Like, we'll say, oh, but we love this place. We love living in this mobile now that you've turned it really into our home and put so many personal touches into this home. And then we're like, but then we don't have room for another freezer. Like, if we were to raise another pig, like, we really have we're butchering chickens on Wednesday. Like, I don't know where we're going to put them.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll have to just figure that out in 2 more days.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Just growing as far as a homestead. Like, when you think about putting away food, a home actually plays a really big part. It's not just the land that plays a big part in it too, but the home as well is like, where are you going to store all this food? I mean, it's good up to a certain point, but when you're growing, in your skills of like a gardener and raising meat and for your family, there's really nowhere to put it. So that's I feel like that's challenging for us in our home.
But then that probably goes into, would we even stay in North Carolina?
That's like a whole nother topic. I mean,
yeah.
I really like North Carolina. I like that we have some friendships here. I mean, not to say that we wouldn't have friends anywhere else that we would go, but when we moved here to North Carolina, we knew hardly anybody.
Yeah, we didn't know
I think we
anybody.
knew like one couple.
Yeah.
And they lived an hour away, and that was it. And so in 4 years, we really put ourselves out there in making friends, not just the YouTube community. I'm talking about like homesteading communities that are not on YouTube, and just our neighbors around us. And we worked really hard to develop these friendships, and I don't know, it's kind of sad to...
Yeah, it seems like, oh my gosh, like if we're to start all over again somewhere.
It seems overwhelming.
It seemed, I mean, a little bit less overwhelming too, because I feel like we're pretty much self-sufficient here. Like, I'm working from home, we're working from home, and But before we moved here, right when we moved here, there was that uncertainty of like, I don't know what I was going to be doing as far as work. I just quit my job and left. So, we wanted to be closer to a city just in case, because I figured eventually I'd have to go get an office job and go into town and get it. I don't know. That didn't work. So yeah, I feel like maybe we can move a little bit further out.
Yeah.
Not be so tied into like being close to the city.
Right.
But, I don't know. It's a tough decision, I think. But yeah, these are just some of the things we're just talking about, guys. We're just figuring this out that maybe,
Maybe we are ready.
But just the fact that we're talking about it is like...
It's big.
Yeah, because I never thought we would reach that point.
So
but
fast. Right?
Yeah, I feel like we're there. We're almost... I think we're there. We're at that point where like, okay, shoot, we look for different things.
A whole nother thing that I want to mention about like raising animals is and how we know we're ready, or how anyone can tell that they're ready for a larger homestead, is not only do we want to do more quantity, we want to do larger animals as well. And you talked about a meat cow or a milk cow, but we're comfortable with that. Like 4 years ago, we were not comfortable with large animals. We were like, okay, we'll just raise chickens. I mean, like we lived in suburbia or the city of California, and we were not comfortable with having animals, farm animals. And so we raised chickens, and that was great. And this year we raised 2 pigs. You might be more comfortable than I am. But anyhow, we were comfortable with the idea of raising a larger animal. And we do see that in us as we're growing as homesteaders. And so we're comfortable. And we also are a little more financially comfortable raising larger animals. Like when we moved here 4 years ago, I'm just comparing our lives 4 years ago to now. You had just left your job. We didn't know what we were doing.
There was uncertainty.
Yeah, and so we couldn't afford larger animals. We couldn't afford to make that investment.
Yeah, like to buy all the feed and stuff.
Because
like,
it is an investment.
It's really the feed. Like
yeah.
I mean, that is really the only reason why we've only ever had chickens. Yeah. We just had 2 pigs this year. And it took us 4.5 years to move from chicken to pig.
Yeah.
And that's because we couldn't afford it.
Right. And so I feel like we've reached this level of like, okay, we're comfortable now with larger animals. We know they're not going to die on us. And then we're able to afford to invest in the feed to raise these animals. And so that's another sign that how we knew that we were ready for growth on our homestead.
I know eventually we would move, and that's always been our goal, is to move from this place eventually. I just don't know when, We're kind of filling it out right now, but we're just at the beginning stages of that, just figuring that out.
And asking ourselves these important questions of
yeah.
How did we know we're ready, or how do we know we're ready, or...
Right. And it's just all about growing. We just want to grow. And that's it.
Yeah.
Speaking of growing, I'm pretty sure we're going to be getting pigs in the winter.
Yes.
Not to say if we move or not.
I know.
Either way, we're getting pigs in the winter. We enjoyed having our 2 pigs it was pretty much spring, summer. And I thought, well, let's try the winter, First time having pigs this last time, so let's try winter for the first time maybe and see which ones we like better.
Well, what we keep talking about is I miss having those pigs around because there's so many kitchen scraps that we used to just put into a bucket and then at the end of the day just take them out to the pigs, and like things you can't really put in your compost because it has like fat in it or meat pieces.
Yeah, like chicken bones.
Yeah, you can't really put that, like once you've cooked it with your cooking oils and fats, you shouldn't put it in your compost. I know some people do, but it might attract mice and rats. But we could feed all of that to the pigs and we don't have to deal with like stinky trash cans or something like that.
Yeah, it just makes so much sense.
So much sense to keep a pig year round.
Yeah, it's like they're garbage disposals.
Yes.
Like I almost feel like horrible because I'm throwing out this food. Like,
yeah.
this is like a whole chicken carcass You know, we're not going to eat it. It's just
Right.
bones.
Or maybe we've already made bone broth with it.
Yeah.
And so we've used it twice.
And so I'm like, I'm just going to throw this away. Like, it seems such a waste when you know pigs will eat this.
Yes.
And they will turn it into bacon.
Yes.
And so so many times since after we butchered the pigs is that we're like, man, we need more pigs, you know?
Right.
It just makes so much sense. And so, you know, I'm hoping if everything goes to plan, we're going to get pigs by the end of the year, 2 pigs, and we're going to raise them in our structure out there that we raise the other 2 and see how it goes in the winter, you know?
I think it'll be great. I'm looking forward to that because as the cook in the family, I have a lot of kitchen scraps that I just want to give them, and stuff that the chickens won't eat, you know, like the stem of a broccoli. They're not going to eat that.
Yeah.
The chickens won't eat it, but the pigs will.
And then by the time, like say if we got 2 pigs, like say November, December, and by the time we raise them, it would be about, from the time we butchered our 2 pigs previously to the time we butcher those 2, it would be about 8 months.
Have passed.
Yeah, and so I'm curious to see how much of our 200 pounds of pork we have gone through in 8 months. So I figured by the time we butcher those 2, then we probably should keep another pig.
Maybe.
You know, I'm pretty sure we would have went through a lot of the pork, the previous pork. So it kind of makes sense that we raise 2 now. So maybe I'll do the same where I'll keep 1 and sell 1. That turned out really good for us. And I think it was a good experience. So I would hope I can do that again this next go around. But we'll see. I mean, we still have maybe a couple months before I get them. But in the meantime, we're trying to prepare. I brought in some more wood chips this week for that pig shelter. And I've been trying to clean out the old wood chips and just putting in new wood chips. And there's a couple other things I need to do with that pig shelter to get it ready. So I'm sure all you guys are aware, a lot of the events that are going on this year have been canceled. Unfortunately, we were supposed to speak at pretty much all of the Mother Earth News Fairs, which that was really exciting for us to be able to do that, but they canceled all of them, which is fine because actually we grew our homestead this year also because we were home. Right. Maybe we would not have grown so much if we were not home. You know, if we're actually like speaking throughout the year.
Traveling.
Yeah. I think it would have been more tougher, but so we're supposed to speak at the HOA, the Homesteaders of America conference in October.
But they're bringing that online. It's not technically canceled. They're just bringing it online.
Yeah, so we are still speaking. It's just that we're doing it online.
Yes.
So if I don't know if you bought tickets already, or if not, you could still buy tickets for that. And we're not the only ones speaking. There's going to be still all the speaker lineups. You could go on their website and see who's speaking. And I think it should be still a good time.
Yeah. Our topic that we're speaking on is we're sharing our story, or Jason's story. It's our story.
It's our story.
Yeah, on homesteading after cancer. So if you don't know the whole story on that, you'll want to tune in to Homesteaders of America conference online and sign up, get your ticket so you can watch our story, and then you can be able to have access to all of the other speakers as well.
Yeah, and we already recorded that talk and sent it to them, and then we're also doing it's like a live premiere where they're going to premiere our talk, and then at the same time I believe we get to interact with you guys.
Right, we'll chat with you guys in the chat area.
Like if you had any other questions for us as we're giving our talk, we could answer them. Right. So I think that's what they're doing. I'm pretty sure that's what they're doing.
That's exciting because we'll be there to answer questions and interact with you guys. And so instead of just watching, and then we'll be around for a little while afterwards to answer some more questions. And
that's if you buy a ticket through them. Yeah. So check out their website. Check it out, guys.
So I'm looking forward to that because Homesteaders is always a wonderful time.
Yes, I wish it was live. I wish we're actually going there. It's so the energy there is really great.
Right, I do enjoy meeting all of you guys that are on the other side that are watching our videos. I do enjoy meeting everyone.
Right. Yeah. So, go check out their website. All right. I think that's it, guys. You can also listen to this podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, and all podcast apps, along with the new Sow the Land Podcast YouTube channel. So check out those things. That's where we're at, and we'll see you guys on the next one.